Welcome to Suthichai Live English. My guest today, Kun Kiet Sithi Amon, a veteran politician, former MP from the Democrat Party. Today, he's a free citizen. He has no political obligations or even affiliation, I suppose. So I'm going to talk to him about how we can fix Thai politics, which I think is in trouble and has been in decline for many, many years. Hello, Kun Kiet. Sawadee krap.
Sawadee krap. How are you?
Fine. So what are your position these days? What is your status in the Thai political structure?
I'm not part of any political structure at this point as far as political parties are concerned. But I'm also a former member of parliament, so certain obligations as being a former 3 terms member of parliament and 1 term as deputy prime minister.
Yeah.
So I'm still working a lot on trade issues, trade and investments, and several countries actually, surprisingly, seek for my advice on various things. Yeah.
Not surprising. I would say that because of your experience, people who want to deal with Thailand would have to talk to you because you become an independent voice under the circumstances.
Yeah. They usually ask for a certain strategy for their own country. For example, the environmental transition, energy transition is a big issue in the world today. The environmental issues, SDGs, how do we get there? And also the trade strategy of each country. We're being challenged. The whole world, as far as WTO is concerned, is also being challenged by the current situation.
Right. But you are still a member of the Democrat Party, right?
No, not anymore, sir.
You have resigned as a member of the party.
For now.
Wow, really? When did you do that? Why did you do that?
It's about 3-4 weeks ago.
Oh, only a few weeks ago.
Yes, because the reason being that I have a bunch of principal issues of some of what the current administration or the executives of the party are doing. And I'd rather not blow the horn about it, but I just make sure that they know that I disagree with it. So that's my statement.
Wow. So you are no longer a member of any political party?
Not anymore.
Wow. And that was a big...
I have ever been with only one party.
I know. But it's a big decision because your life, almost your whole life, has been devoted to politics, and you were right in the middle of a very important decision making in the government and in the opposition. And now suddenly you think that you should be out of politics. How would your political role be as a citizen now? How active would you be?
I will make comments on anything I see that is not right for the country, which I have always done and have been doing up until now. And even today as well. I will speak out to protect the interests of this country, nothing more, nothing less, but as a citizen, okay, with no attachment to any institutions, except for democratic institutions of this country.
Yeah, but you still look forward to the day when you could be back in the government and implementing policies that you think are important to the country. I mean, you are not totally off. You may return in some capacity at one sort or the other, right?
Well, put it this way: my role in politics has been accidental.
Really?
And it started like 25 years ago. I went to see Kun Chuan when he was the prime minister during the Tom Yam Krum crisis.
Yes.
To ask him to speak to the Chamber of Commerce. And then he questioned me as to my past experience, and most of them are international arena. and also with the World Trade Organization, with the World Trade Chamber of Commerce. Okay, so he asked me. That's when he decided to appoint me as one of his advisors during when he was the prime minister the second time. And after that, he asked me to run, not run away, but run in politics as a candidate.
Right.
That's how it got started, not planned.
Yeah. What an honor to be asked by Kun Chuan to join the Democrat Party.
I'm indebted to him, all the opportunities to be working in politics. Back to your question, you asked me if I look forward to do anything. I think at this point in time, you rightly asked the question, there's some challenges with Thai politics. There's no doubt about it. As the guy who actually live and work in many countries myself, I always have in my little notebook of key policies that I would like to implement if I have the opportunity.
You keep it book next. You keep it always in your pocket.
In my phone.
Wow. Okay.
In my phone. And actually, when I was during Kun Napisit's prime ministership, I was his deputy prime minister. I was dealing with trade negotiations. And I thought at that time I would be able to implement all the things I like to see. Unfortunately, I managed less than 5 or 6 things because of the difficulties of how to implement some of the new ideas. And believe it or not, I still have about 15 things that I want to do.
Not surprising, but it was because it was a coalition government and it was difficult to get a consensus.
Not easy. But still, I don't even hold some of those ideas to myself. If given any opportunity with any political parties, I would tell them. I always tell them. When I work in the House Committee on Foreign Affairs and other committees, it comprises all parties. I always speak my mind about what is best for this country and what we should do. We should all be doing. So no secret, but not yet the right environment to implement many of those things. To give you some example, in Thailand, if you look at the potentials of each province, we have 70 provinces, right? I have even specific plans for 55 provinces in this country to implement special economic zone, particularly based on the potentials of those provinces. So it's I still love this idea. I have this plan, but not yet the right moment to implement it.
Why? Is it because the Thai politics as it is does not lend itself to implementing good, effective policies for the country?
It's true. It's very divisive. Each political parties always care for their own, more so than the public interest on many issues. On many issues, not all issues, and not all politicians are bad. Kun Suthichai, I met politicians from all parties over the past 3 terms in Parliament. There is no doubt there are lots of good guys who mean well for the country, but it's not functioning well. And at different points in time, you can see that some people's personal interests became more important than national interest. And that's a shame. That's something we need to fix. That's what's wrong with Thai politics. And because of that personal interest, it affected even the judicial system, the court, even the public tendering. All of those has been affected by personal interest of some. And does it happen in other countries? Yes, but perhaps in Thailand, maybe few people can do a whole lot more damage to the country than in many other countries that I've seen.
Is it because of politics or the lack of the quality of politics that has made Thailand less competitive compared to our neighbors? Our economy is shrinking. We are not growing at a rate that is commensurate with our capacity. The important policies are not being implemented. Reform is not being implemented because there's not enough political will. Why is it so? This is a democratically elected government, and it is supposed to represent the people's interest. And we see the coalition of old faces, old politicians coming together again. And we don't see any real political will to implement real changes, real reform. Why is it so? And why is it that, the opposition party, the so-called Move Forward Party, is supposed to be new politics and is not capable of making any significant change either? Where do we put the blame on?
On ourselves, I guess. Now, we're democracy in form.
In form.
Not in substance. But the world that is enriched by real democracy, they look at substance a lot. We spend every 4 years or every so often we go to the poll and said, that's it, that's democracy. No, it's not. When our politician, the people that we elected, or not even elected, but is in their office and they're not doing proper job, the force to make that changes is not significant enough.
No.
So that's unfortunate. I'm a bit more worried about also the role of media. Media like yourselves has become less and less. You start seeing a lot of medias, the younger generations, they're not well versed with history and some of the things that some of the people did wrong. But because that guy is so important and rich, they get the airtime, unlimited airtime almost. Why is that? Why do we have to pay attention to the guy who actually escaped from this country, suddenly came back and got 100% airtime where he went? That's something wrong with this country. Okay, and the role of media is equally important. Social media is a new challenge. Because it just take you where you want to go and show you what you want to see, and not always a reality of the issues.
That's true.
So because of all of that, I think this is not the challenge that Thailand only country is facing.
Right.
Many countries in the world are facing these difficulties, but we did not even start it right. We did not even start in Europe. So many countries, they start enacting the law that for you to have any to register yourself in social media, you must use your real name and your ID.
True.
In Thailand, you can be Mr. Fat, Mr. Slim, Mr. Whatever. Okay. And it's a joke. There is no way you can actually manage properly social media and platform internally, domestically, and also from overseas without proper legal framework. And that's the part that I don't see even the current administration paying attention to. Now, when you also ask me about economic growth of this country,
right,
huge problem. The world this year will grow at what percentage?
The whole
average.
world.
The whole world is 3.2%.
3.2, yeah.
And most of the time, if you look back in our history, if the world grow at 3%, we would grow at 4 to 5. At this point in time, we have very slow, very marginal growth as compared to our friends in this country, in this region. Everybody grow at 4 to 5%. But why Thailand is stagnated at 1%, 2%, because we're not doing the things we expected to do. Increase the ability to compete. We're not. But you know, one of the most important reasons why we have very low investment and therefore very low economic activity.
Why?
One of the biggest issue is the political platform, which is the increase of minimum wage.
Yep. Yep.
This is completely illegal. As far as Election Commission is concerned, they should stop political party in so doing. Even announcing it is wrong. You know why it's wrong?
Because the law says that the minimum wage is fixed by a tripartite committee.
And it's based on the convention that we are party to. This convention was signed when Kun Chuan was the prime minister. I was the one there, help enacting this Labor Protection Act to be in compliance with the convention, UN convention that we're party to. And the law says no political party should have any say about minimum wage.
Really? The convention says so specifically.
Yes, that's why we have enacted the tripartite law.
Tripartite law, yeah.
And that's a huge illegal political policy to be announced. And there were only two parties announcing it, Suthichai and Move Forward. Okay, and I actually mentioned this during the elections. And I said it's wrong. You cannot do that. And you know why, Kun Suthichai? You and I, we live long enough to know the history of many countries that went completely belly up, bankrupt, totally because of minimum wage. Okay, so now that we're party to this, we have this law, but we allow political parties to announce it. Now, back to the economy, and that's one tick for Election Commission. Some political party should file the case against National Counter-Corruption Commission on the inaction on the part of Election Commission on this issue. It's a huge one. Now, the second part is that when I mentioned that one of the causes of slow economic growth, all investors are waiting. Some investors have moved because of this. Any country that play with minimum wage is crazy for business people. Okay, and everybody knows if you compare the minimum wage within the region, 300 baht is the highest. And we said we want to go to 400, and some parties said they want to go for 600. You're going to bankrupt the whole industries here. And that's the problem. So everyone is just wait and see. You look at the indicators for the number of investment. Don't look at BOI. BOI, they just book the seat.
Just book the seat, all right?
They don't go to the show unless this point is clear. Not all of them is implementing.
I see.
Okay, all the existing factories, they would not expand. Although they have the potential to expand, they would not. This is the key issue, huge one for Thailand. And the government didn't even realize it.
But the government
still tried to push.
Yeah, but political parties say that we have to do the minimum wage thing because our laborers are being mistreated, they're underpaid, and we need to look after their welfare. What do you say as a politician? You also have to look at the labor's point of view, right?
I spoke with many of them.
Yeah.
I think this is like using the money you don't have to buy votes. Why don't we promote pay as suggested by the Board of Trade, by the Federation of Thai Industry? Why they are objecting to minimum wage?
Well, because they look at the business people's viewpoint. They don't look at the labor, the workers' viewpoint. That's why the workers need to be represented in the political parties. No?
No. They are represented in the tripartite. They are fully represented in the tripartite. And I have a role in amending a number of laws related to all of this issue. Okay, we have verified each and every move. We want to fix many of our laws and even the level of pay with all the organizations involved. So, if what you said is true, why the tripartite do not approve it? You see, and why? If you can tell me who actually received the minimum wage today, Thai citizen or migrant workers who actually came from the country where the payment is 100 baht to 200 baht per day. And they come to work here, we need them. There's no doubt about it. We have migrant workers of about 4 to 5 million now.
We need them. We need them. Badly.
We need them, but not all of them, even today, receive minimum wage.
No.
How many can you hire at minimum wage today? You tell me. But while raising the bar is not only illegal, you immediately raise all the costs all the way to the executives. And the business sector said it's impossible. Based on the profit margin that they have today, they cannot. That's why they move.
Is that one of the reasons why we hear reports about factories closing down, people being laid off? Especially,
I would say yes.
Really? SMEs, of course, competition from China. Chinese goods are flooding the Thai market. Also because maybe minimum wage and also the lack of purchasing power. A lot of factors are now
affected.
A lot of factors are coming together to make the Thai economy much weaker than before.
But someone didn't do their job. When you start saying that, okay, the cheap goods coming in from China, yes, they're good, but they cannot just enter freely. We have rules. Okay? If they want to sell into Thailand, they have to register with the standard institutes of Thailand. This is the condition allowed for under WTO to ensure the interest of the consumer. It has to be certain. You have to ensure, you have to test it, you have to accept it, you have to issue certificates to ensure that it's safe to consume.
Oh, it's being so online. They don't need legal procedures.
And online started with what? With the law to confirm your identity. If you don't do that, you cannot regulate anything at all.
So you're blaming on government's inefficiency, lack of enforcement of law, right?
That's part of the problem. That's a big part of the problem too. Why today we want to ship anything to Europe and United States? There's so many regulations that we have to follow. Or China. It's not because they are big. It's because it's the regulations that actually protect the interests of that consumer, which is allowed by WTO.
Sure.
But we are so, despite the fact that we have ASEAN, where we have very little rules about inter-trade among ASEAN. We only agree on, lower the interest rate, but we never come up with a standard of products that is allowed for free movement.
No.
There are lots of things that has to be done, Kun Suthichai, lots of things.
Yeah.
But we have not done so because, when the politics is strong, civil servant did not speak much, do not dare to speak much. And maybe that's the situation today that I've seen. It's not a good thing. Actually, civil servant can play a very significant role on many fronts, but they have to work well, and receiving respect between politicians and civil servant has to work well together, and they must respect each other. But they can only do that if they want to do things in the best interest of this country.
That's true. Yeah. And you don't see this government being effective enough to put a stop to the decline in the economy.
The most important thing that the government should have done in 1 year's time, they have not done. First thing, if it was me, I would look at the energy price completely. That is the cost of every manufacturer, of all citizens and all businesses. Today, the price of oil, we are paying more than what we're supposed to pay. And we make, the energy companies became so rich, 300 billion, unseen in this country for a long time. One of the major groups has profit of 300 billion baht. Instead of 10, 20 billion in the past, at the expense of high cost of energy, high cost of oil price, high cost of gas price, high cost of electricity. That is something that can be achieved without any budget. Don't tell me that you need budget to be serious about this issue. No way.
You have your brain and your integrity.
You have to know the industry. Now, I was fortunate in my life as early on an engineer. I built both power plants and also refinery.
Okay.
In many countries. Okay. So at this point in time, our petroleum price is too high.
Too high.
Way too high. Okay. If you and we also play God, Kun Suthichai, you know that. We said that diesel has to be cheap because it's the poor people, for poor people, and benzene has to be more expensive because it's for rich people. It's a complete BS. You know why?
Why?
Everyone who use motorbike, they use benzene 91.
Yeah, I know.
And the cost, the margin of refinery is excessive.
Yeah.
Higher than any other benchmark that you can check worldwide. Okay. If you don't believe me, you check it yourself. When I built the refinery, okay, if I have the margin of like $3 to $4 per barrel, all the banks will run to me and said, please take my money.
Yeah, please take my money.
You know how much they make today? $8 to $12 per barrel.
Oh my God.
Why? It's a joke. And we ask the guy who control it, the regulator, I spoke about this even in the house.
Yeah.
And they sent me a little note like, well, we take note of your question and we'll tell you next time. And next time never came. They changed the people.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, the price of gas that we use for electricity is 60 to 70% of electricity production. You know that we pay double than the cost of price of gas to petrochemical.
Mhm.
Why?
Why? Because of a monopoly in.
No, because the regulator didn't regulate.
Well,
It's a joke.
why is that our regulators don't regulate?
You know, hey, you know, we need a big reform
Yeah, I know.
among the regulators in this country.
Yeah.
Okay, I asked the regulator in the House of Representatives, why do you have to guarantee 12% profit for gas to go through the gas pipe?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's in the contract, you know, with Suthichai.
Yes. Yeah.
12%.
12%. What is the answer? What is the answer to your question?
They said it was agreed long time ago before they came. Rubbish, you know, you cannot say that to me. You cannot say that to the people.
Yeah.
And why do we have to pay double in cost of gas, natural gas that go to the electricity generating plant?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that's what's happened. That is happening today.
Mm-hmm.
So, in short, you can start, the government could have started
Mm-hmm.
with regulating or making sure, I'm not suggesting they have to lose money,
Mm-hmm.
but have reasonable profit is good enough.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so because of that, you don't need budget,
Mm-hmm.
you don't need new laws. The
No.
current law already allow you to do all of that, but they didn't.
Mm-hmm.
That's my view.
Mm-hmm.
And I challenge anyone, give me 3 months, I would do it.
Mm-hmm.
Because, you know, it's easy enough. The law says the energy price to the people has to be based on the real costs
Real cost. Mm-hmm.
and fair.
Mm-hmm.
If the law says that,
Mm-hmm.
you can do anything.
Mm-hmm. Now, why is it that the current energy minister says he doesn't have the power?
It's a misunderstanding. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry for him to say so.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because nobody believes him internationally and domestically.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay? And why do we not fix the problems that we have oversupply of electricity by 15,000 megawatt?
Yeah.
And Thai people pay for it. It's in the form of FT.
I know.
Why the hell do we need to pay for that?
Mm-hmm.
For anybody's mistake?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's not fair.
Mm-hmm.
But there are ways to fix it. There are ways to fix it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But not what I've seen being done at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so if you start with that, we are becoming more competitive from the cost perspective.
Mm-hmm.
And then it would increase all the price increase of all the consumable items will have to not be allowed.
I know. Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Isn't it? Cost of transportation cannot be increased because, you know, the price of oil and gas is fixed and it's reasonable.
Mm-hmm.
It can be. You know, Kun Suthichai, when I was in the government at that time, the oil price shot up to $110 per barrel.
Yes.
And we can manage to fix it at 30 baht on diesel. Why today is 33?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And when the oil price is $75 per barrel, you tell me.
Is it, you think, a collusion between politicians and business people in the energy sector?
I would say that by me speaking about any of this in the past so many years, I received so many
Threats, huh?
Yeah.
From
from the big guns. Okay?
guns, huh?
Yeah. So, but I don't care. At this point, you know, I live this long is already a bonus.
Well, for both of us,
Yeah.
being alive today is already a bonus, right?
Absolutely. So it has to be fixed. This is the first step of fixing the economy, making sure that nobody get an overpriced payment. Okay? At this point in time, after 1 year, they did not manage to move a bit, except using the budget that comes from taxpayers' money. So sorry, I cannot agree to support that kind of ideas. Okay.
So how would you assess the performance of Prime Minister Sethar up to now?
He's very diligent.
He works hard.
Appear to.
Yeah.
But the real results is yet to be seen. I mean, I'm sorry. You know, when I travel, I took the trade mission, okay, to so many countries, to Latin America, to United States, to Europe, to Asia. Almost every time that I went there, I went with business people that actually received orders on the trip.
Yeah.
Because I do homework 3 months ahead of my trip.
Yeah.
I do real business matching. Okay. And we work very hard before we take a trip. One trip, you know, the private sector was so shocked. They went to Latin America with me. They said, why the hell do I want to go there? Because, you know, they don't even speak English. They speak Portuguese and Spanish, and it's so far. You know, you need to travel 48 hours by plane to get there.
No.
You know, they came back with 800 million baht of order.
Wow. That's because you had laid the groundwork.
And after that, everyone fight to get on the plane with me. So, you know, it can be done. If you want to do a smart way of doing best interest for the country, you can do it. And as a prime minister, or even deputy prime minister or minister, you can do a lot of wonderful things, but you need to work smart.
Work smart.
Not work hard.
Yeah.
And get no results. You know, given time, working hard and no result, people take you as a fool.
But maybe with Kun Thaksin now back, and soon he'll be active because he will be released from prison officially. That he's known to be the economic czar. He can fix all the problems. So it should get better, right? After he's out of jail.
When you say economic czar, by who? Who said that about him? Sorry.
A lot of admirers. You know, you must admit he had a lot of admirers before.
Not in the world economy stakeholders. World economic stakeholders do not view that at all.
No, why not?
Because everywhere he went to negotiate free trade agreement, there is a side things about some of his companies in the past. And people forget about it already. Why so soon? You know, remember the free trade agreement with Australia with names of companies in the agreement? That's so odd. And free trade agreement with India with the name of company, special treatment. People forget about that already. We must not forget. What are we dealing with? Who are we dealing with? And the international arena, the world trade people, they know far better. Okay? If you go talk to the people in Middle East, business people in Middle East, where he was there for many years,
right?
Talk to some of them, to Suthichai. You see the light. Okay?
So you don't have any hope of this government
with or without Kun Thaksin, if he's so good, like many people suggest, or you even ask that question, why the government is as is today?
I know.
So obsessed with the digital wallet, all this the World Bank already came out and say that you spend 1.5% of GDP and you get back 0.3%. How stupid is that? How silly is that as a policy platform?
Yeah.
To help poor people, don't get me wrong, help poor people of 10 million, 15 million people, that's fine. Okay? So they already suggested to this country, okay, that if the government go ahead with this project, Thailand would be downgraded.
Wow, that is dangerous. That is.
It's already confirmed by the institution that actually value do the grading of the country. So why are we and why no media said that, oh my God, you actually use the money that you borrow and we are indebted, all of Thai people are indebted to buy votes in the future. Why if you are 16, you are entitled already. That's a new time voter in 2 years. You know, this is not even my word.
No.
This is the word of so many analysts in the international arena that I never hear from Thai media or Thai analysts.
No, they say that.
And why do we allow that? Why do we agree with that?
There's a lot of criticism, a lot of opposition, but the government is not listening. And we will see where.
Why don't we say anything about election commission allowing that to happen?
No, and that is the point.
You saw what they have submitted to election commission during the election time and what they will be implementing now are completely different story. And that should be found illegal under the law, under the constitution. It's illegal. You cannot change what you promise to people. So at this point in time, everything that they said, even last week, that they will be implementing is completely different from what they have filed with the election commission.
Right. Yeah, totally different.
And why not they found guilty of doing that? So what is the credibility of Thai political parties in the future?
The election commission has yet to make it clear why they have not taken any action on this particular issue. We will see, Kun Kiat. We will see. So thank you very much today for this very interesting, provocative conversation. We will keep talking, and now I'll ask you to come back so we can continue our discussion. Thank you.
Okay, we ran out of time already?
Yeah, we ran out of time. Thank you so much.
It's been pleasure talking to you, Kun Suthichai.
Thank you.
As always.
Talk to you soon again. ขอบคุณทุกท่านที่ติดตามสุทธิชัยไลฟ์ครับล่าสุดนี่มีคนกด subscribe กดกระดิ่ง 1.2 ล้านท่านแล้วครับตัวเลขเพิ่มขึ้นไปเรื่อยๆและต้องขอบคุณเป็นพิเศษสำหรับผู้ที่กด Super Stickers Super Chat เพื่อให้กำลังใจกับทีมงานสุทธิชัยไลฟ์จะได้อยู่กันยาวๆยั่งยืนและสมกับคนบ้าข่าวด้วยกันครับ